fell in love with the male lead on the very first day I woke up inside this book. It's a classic high school romance novel. The male and female leads are destined for a sugary sweet love story, and I'm just a background extra. I didn't try to change the plot. I just studied, like my life depended on it. I studied until my eyes bled just to get into the same AP classes as him. I studied until I clawed my way up the rankings to sit next to him. I studied until we both got into the same Ivy League university. In the end, the female lead showed up at my dorm, absolutely wasted, screaming at me for stealing her man. I scratched my head, genuinely confused. What did I even do? She was silent for a long time before she started sobbing and shrieking. You studied like a psychopath. Me. On my first day in this world, I fell for Ethan Hayes. It wasn't love at first sight. It was a long-term obsession. Back when I was reading the book in the real world, I'd curl up under my blankets and scream about how perfect he was. The cold, aloof academic god. He hit every single one of my checkboxes. Seeing him in person, I didn't stand a chance. But the situation was different now. I wasn't a reader anymore. I was a stranger in his world. I could only watch from a distance as he and the female lead, Chloe, acted out their perfect romance. The sense of loss sat heavy in my chest, suffocating me. Back then, they weren't together yet. Plenty of brave girls confessed to Ethan. Without exception, he rejected them all with an icy politeness. I realized my crush had to be buried deep. I was just a nobody. Broken family, average looks, zero confidence. I didn't even get the standard transmigrator system or cheat codes. I had nothing. So, I turned my frustration into motivation. I studied hard, partly because it's what you're supposed to do in high school, mostly because of my own selfish desire. I wanted to be closer to Ethan. I didn't ask for much. Just being able to see him was enough. I became the girl who arrived at school first and left last, the one reading flashcards in the cafeteria line. During the sophomore year placement exams, I jumped 200 spots in the ranking and finally made it into the honors class, the same class as Ethan and Chloe. The first day I walked in, Chloe ran over immediately. Maya, who are you looking for? In the original book, I was a slacker. I was Chloe's plastic friend, gossiping with her by day, jealous of her shine by night. I was too busy being a hater to study. That's why she assumed I was lost. I tested into this class, I explained. Huh? She froze, then ran to the podium to check the roster. She came back, looking me up and down. Wow, that's a huge improvement. I smiled shyly and took my seat. Ethan sat on the other side of the room. I pretended to look out the window, stealing a glance at him from the corner of my eye. Chloe seemed to be telling him about me. He didn't look interested, but he did glance my way. I held my breath, forcibly shifting my gaze to my notebook. Close one. Almost made eye contact. The atmosphere in the honors class was different. Here, I wasn't a freak. Everyone studied during breaks. Everyone formed groups to discuss calculus problems. I stabilized my grades, ranking near the top. I followed Ethan and Chloe to the same prestigious high school. Based on entrance exam scores, I barely scraped into the same homeroom as Ethan. He was number one. I was third from the bottom. Chloe, however, fell into a regular class. The author separated them to create drama. Chloe would meet the second male lead, Jax, in her new class, sparking jealousy and angst. None of that concerned me. I just studied. For 2 years, Ethan and I had zero interaction, aside from being classmates. We were the kind of people who passed each other in the hall without even nodding. He genuinely didn't care. I was faking it. My heart would hammer against my ribs every time I saw him, but I kept my face paralyzed. Good job, Maya, I told myself. Since I was buried in books, my fake friendship with Chloe faded. By the time middle school ended, she'd basically forgotten me. But in high school, she suddenly became friendly again. She said I was studying myself into an early grave and needed to relax.